Chazon Ish says, before you can even understand the magnitude of the Creator, you first have to understand your inability to understand the creation completely. You can understand aspects of the creation, but not the entire creation completely. One example is the eye. No matter how much they've studied it, no matter how many billions of dollars they've spent on it, mankind is incapable of understanding how the eye truly works. There's a write-up that I'm going to read to you. It's truly amazing when you put it into this analogy or this type of perspective. And it says the following. Let us imagine the following newspaper scoop. I mean, it's an article. In the world's most sophisticated laboratory, some of the world's leading scientists have developed what can only be described as a super camera. The newspaper article will also carry a picture of the most complicated looking camera available. This camera works under all conditions and does not require either artificial lighting or film. 20 years ago, this was a big deal. No film? Wow. Every so often you have to go to one of the local shops, get your film developed, wait for the guy to finish a few days later. Once the 24-hour development was a big deal, now there's no film. Now everything's on a little card. But when this was originally up, no film already was sounding like a big thing. So no film and also no memory card. So every picture is automatically relayed to a special computer where it's processed in a fraction of a second without any developing. The super camera has the ability to capture close-up and long-distance views at the same time, regardless of their size. At the center of the camera's lens is an automatic adjustment mechanism which reduces aperture size when the light level is too high and allows only the necessary light to enter. When light level is low, the aperture opens automatically to allow the entry of all available light. The camera lens has an automatic zoom capability operated by a very sophisticated electronic spring mechanism. This still doesn't exist. None of the stuff I'm explaining to you. No camera in the world is going to be able to adjust itself to this extent, because no camera in the world can calculate what you want to see. There are certain cameras that they can program, do this and do that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you want it to do this or do that. When a light enters the camera, it triggers 7 million color senses, which automatically balance all the different colors with outstanding accuracy to create the right picture with precise color replication. That means 7 million little chupchikim, 7 little pieces have to come together in this camera. A rocket is the highest level of design that engineers can get to. Like the most sophisticated engineers are rocket scientists. And the reason why is because a rocket, even though it doesn't look so sophisticated, is a very, very sophisticated set of engineering where it has 1 million parts. 1 million parts to make a rocket. Screws, bolts, pieces of metal, rubber, and so on and so forth. 1 million different pieces. Imagine just looking at 1 million pieces and say, there you go, figure this one out. We get a heartache when we see a puzzle with 200 pieces. And if you like puzzles, 1,000 pieces, you get a heart attack. 1 million pieces put together, and you have to know where everything goes, and if you make one little screw is off, the rocket explodes. One screw, not bolted the right way, whole rocket goes, explodes. 1 million pieces are worthless. That's what happened years ago when that Israeli was supposed to go on the first mission to the to outer space. They had a Sefer Torah inside the rocket, and the rocket exploded in midair. They figured out later on one of the screws wasn't screwed. One screw. 1 million screws were perfect. One screw wasn't screwed. One screw. Here in this camera, he says there's 7 million pieces. but just for the color that have to come together. And when at night, and the 7 million color sensors cannot work, there are 127 million black and white sensors that come into operation. There are 127 million pieces that come together, that are together in the same camera, i.e. your eye, to allow the eye to see everything else, even without color. The black and white system is more sophisticated than the color system. If one of those pieces no good, you're finished. One piece out of the 7 million doesn't work, colorblind, or you can see only a few colors. Similar with the 127 million pieces, 127 million cells, designed and built specifically for this task. The black and white sensors successfully capture the picture. Given the most expensive and sophisticated camera in the world is fragile, for the first time in photographic history, a special automatic lens cleaning system has been fitted into the camera itself. You don't have to clean the camera by yourself. It has the cleaning system in it. This ensures that the pictures are constantly bright and clear. The inner surfaces of two delicate membranes are constantly being washed with a special cleaning solution as they automatically open and close over the lens surface at regular intervals. You have these two little tubes, one on the bottom, one on the top, that have these lubricants that go into this camera to make it work constantly, to make it be able to move. If you want more details, you go to dafyomireview.com. It's by a friend of mine who's a rocket scientist. He's not only a Talmid Chacham, but he's also a physicist and electrical engineer. I've mentioned him in the past. His name is Rabbi Yosef Sebag. And he has something, some write-up on the eye. He actually talks about how the tears that you have are literally capable of destroying all bacteria. They're powerful, but they don't harm the eye, but instead they protect it. So it's like having an atomic bomb or a biochemical that can hurt only the enemy. Unbelievable. And only released at specific times. The membranes clean the lens at very high speed without reducing the quality of pictures taken by the camera. Instead of using a single membrane covering the whole lens, the camera's designer deliberately placed two membranes, one at the bottom and one at the top of the lens. The membranes sweep up and down respectively, meeting in the middle at the extension of their stroke. This allows them to open and close very fast, cleaning the entire lens at very high speed. The specially designed lubrication system ensures that the lens operates with a constant supply of fluid, which also ensures that the lens can move smoothly from side to side at the same time that it's cleaned. Even the tiniest particle of dust or dirt entering the lens environment is removed immediately. The membrane and lubrication system provides the camera with the ability to work in all weathers, even during a sandstorm. The membranes automatically close to any necessary position and can seal the lens hermetically if required. Ever wonder how amazing it is when, if you're, let's say, for example, running and some bug flies at your eye, but somehow your eye closed right at the right time? How did it know? You didn't even see the bug until it was already in your eye, but you saw it and it's right in the right last minute, you caught it with your eyelids. How? That's how sophisticated it is. If large quantities of dirt enter the system, they are detected by the lubrication system sensors without any specific human intervention. They pump in more lubrication fluid which completely washes away the dirt, leaving the lens as clean and clear as before. One of the most impressive achievements of this super camera is its ability to take three-dimensional photographs. This advanced capability is achieved by combining two independent filming systems, each of which has all the capabilities of the system already described. The special computer used to process the pictures receives the images from both the lenses within a fraction of a second. Designated software processes the pictures and combines them together into a single three-dimensional picture within milliseconds. It's important to realize that this super camera is no more than 2.5 centimeters in diameter, and both lenses are permanently located in the most sophisticated creation on earth, and they are called the eyes. So this is in a sefer that we give out as part of our KIRUV package. It's called Science Comes of Age by Rabbi Zamir Cohen. If you want to buy the KIRUV package, or for your friend or for yourself, it's on our website. This book is one of the books that's in it. If you just want the book, then it's better off you just buy it online, on Amazon or some other bookstore, but it's going to be called a different name. It'll be called The Coming Revolution by Rabbi Zamir Cohen. The point being, Rabotai, is that when a person realizes and thinks about what I just read, or hears it several times to understand the magnitude of the creation, but not even the entire creation of the universe. You don't have to go so big and so far. Not even the creation of the whole world. You don't have to go so big and so far. Not even the whole creation of the Jewish people. You don't have to go so big and so far. Not even the whole you. You don't have to go so big. Start with something small. Your eye. You realize the perfection of this eye, and you realize it is impossible that this eye came from a happenstance by itself. Now the atheist among us will say, why not? Why can't the eye, after so many tries of evolution, come together? Well, let's see. My Rav told me, look at this. If you ask any normal human being, be they a scientist or not, if I took a jar of ink and I dipped a feather in it, you know, they used to write with a feather. I dipped a feather in it, and I dropped a trickle, instead of writing, I dropped a trickle on a piece of paper. What are the chances that that trickle of the ink will go in exact design of the letter Aleph in Hebrew, or A, whatever letter you want? What are the chances? You don't have to answer. It's not happening. But the scientists will tell you, oh, it's 1 in a gazillion bazillion. Okay, meaning it's possible that if I take this drop of ink, that after doing it a gazillion bazillion times, it'll eventually look exactly like the Aleph. Now, I'm not talking about looks like the Aleph, but it really is like, looks like a monkey too. I'm talking about exactly the Aleph that's in the Sefer Torah, the Ashuri script. After I do it, I drop this little piece of ink on a piece of paper a gazillion bazillion times, it'll eventually look like the Aleph in the Sefer Torah. Right, Mr. Scientist? Yes, for sure. Okay, let's see. What are the chances that if I take another drop and drop it right next to that Aleph, that Aleph, that drop is going to be bet. Bet like it's in the Torah. He's going to tell you a gazillion bazillion times. No, it cannot be a gazillion bazillion times. Why? It has to be more. It has to be more. Why it has to be more? Because as soon as I drop it the first time, and it's not that, it's not bet, it's some nothing, I got to start all over with the Aleph again. I got to erase the Aleph, start again. It cannot be first one success, second one failure, but just keep going. No. It has to be continuous success. It has to succeed the second one, even if the first one took a gazillion bazillion times to succeed, whatever you want, no problem. The second thing has to succeed on the first shot. Or else I have to start all over in the beginning. Which means that the second one is not going to be, it's either first shot or it's a gazillion, bazillion times. To no end. And then what if I want to complete the word Abba? Aleph, Bet, and Aleph again. Don't give me a Bet, don't give me a Gimel. I want an Aleph Dafka. How many times is it going to be to let's say the first two succeeded? He's going to tell you, no, come on, leave me alone. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen to spell the word Abba. But you're saying that 134 million cells could just happen to succeed 100% of the time to make your eye, with 7 million of them making the color and 127 with the black and white. I'm not talking about the entire human being, or needless to say, the brain, which is the most sophisticated of all creation. I'm talking about the eye that delivers the information to it. Has to have 134 million successes 100% of the time. No rational human being will ever say, yeah, this just happened to be. Which means, Rabotai, that anyone that doesn't actually believe that it just happened to be created through evolution, but rather chose not to believe. Because even Darwin said, until today, the eye always gives me a cold shiver. Meaning, no matter how many times I explained evolution and survival of the fittest and all of these theories that people have manipulated for the last couple of 100 years, which have nothing to do with Darwin anyway, he himself says, I'm full of it. Why? I don't even understand the eye. Needless to say, I understand the creation. So, you see, Rabotai, the beginning stages of a person connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is to know that you're not going to understand the Creator, because to understand Him you have to be Him. You're also not going to understand the entire creation either. No matter how sophisticated you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much you study. In fact, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you are. What you can understand are the things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows you to. Because He wants you to, because you need to. You need to understand your purpose. You need to understand His will. Therefore, He allows you to understand those two things, because He gave you a Torah that tells you both of those things. Now, the problem that we have is not understanding the creation, but rather getting ourselves to understand it. Meaning, it's not so difficult to understand the creation once you put your head down and learn. The tough part is dealing with the resistance on the way there. Because if you are allowed to understand the creation with no resistance, that would hurt your free choice. Because as soon as you saw one guy succeed easily, you would follow suit, know the secret to creation, know the purpose of the world, and that's it. Everybody would go to Gan Eden. It would defeat the entire purpose of the world. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that if you understand the creation, understand your purpose, and therefore fulfill it, you will get an immense reward. A reward that's unfathomable for a human to comprehend. On the other hand, if you don't spend the time to understand your purpose, and you do not fulfill your purpose, whether you understand it or not, then there is an unfathomable punishment.